Her husband left her because she couldn't give him a child. But the billionaire next door saw her worth. Tamara came home to an empty house and a note on the kitchen counter. "I can't do this anymore. I want to be a father. You can't give me that. I'm sorry. Marcus." 7 years of marriage, 3 years of trying, 2 years of fertility treatments and watching her body fail every single month, and he'd left because she was broken, because being a wife wasn't enough if you couldn't be a mother. The divorce papers came 2 weeks later. Marcus had already moved in with someone else, younger, fertile, capable of giving him what Tamara's defective body couldn't. 6 months later, she was 32 years old, living alone, teaching other people's children, and convinced no man would ever choose a woman who couldn't give him a family. Then Carter Bennett moved in next door, billionaire, recently divorced, and when he found her crying at 2 a.m., he did something unexpected. He stayed. Welcome to Tales from the Shadow Side, where we bring you emotional stories that stay with you. If you're new here, hit subscribe and the notification bell so you never miss a story. And if you're returning, thank you. Your support means everything. Now, stay until the end, drop a comment with your thoughts, and let's begin. Tamara Johnson stood on her balcony at 2 a.m., staring at nothing. She did this a lot now. Stood in the dark, watched the city lights blur through tears she was too tired to wipe away, listened to the silence of her one-bedroom condo, and tried to remember what happiness felt like. The condo was small, nothing like the house she'd shared with Marcus, 3 bedrooms, a yard, space for the family they'd never have. But she couldn't afford the house on a teacher's salary alone, couldn't afford the mortgage on the life she'd thought she was building. So she'd moved here. Buckhead. Expensive enough to be safe, small enough to be lonely. Started over. Again. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. Probably another well-meaning friend checking in, asking if she was okay. She'd stopped answering truthfully. Stopped saying, "No, I'm not okay. I feel like I died 6 months ago and nobody noticed." Started saying, "I'm fine. Just busy with school." The phone buzzed again. She looked. Facebook notification. Marcus had posted something. She should delete Facebook. Had tried 3 times. Kept downloading it again because even pain was better than nothing. She clicked. Marcus, smiling. Arm around a woman. Pretty. Blonde. Young god. So young. The caption, "Celebrating. Baby Bennett, arriving March. Best day of my life." Tamara's phone slipped from her hands, clattered on the balcony floor. She couldn't breathe. 6 months. 6 months since he'd left her because she was broken. 6 months since the note, since the divorce papers, since she'd become the woman whose body didn't work. And he was having a baby. With someone else. Someone whose body worked. The sound that came out of her wasn't crying. It was something deeper. Something that lived in the hollow space where her hope used to be. She slid down the wall, pressed her face against her knees. Let the sobs come. "Hey." The voice came from the left. Tamara's head snapped up. A man stood on the balcony next door. Their balconies shared a wall, just a divider, really. She could see him clearly in the glow of his apartment lights. Early 30s, dark hair, white, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, holding a coffee mug. The new neighbor. He'd moved in last week. She'd seen the moving trucks but had been too wrapped up in surviving to introduce herself. "I'm sorry," she managed. Her voice was wrecked. "I didn't mean to. I'll go inside." "Don't." He set down his mug. "I mean, you don't have to. If you don't want to." She stared at him. "It's 2 in the morning." "I know. I heard you come out here. Thought you might want." He stopped. Started again. "I'm Carter. I moved in last week. And I'm a terrible neighbor because I haven't introduced myself yet. Tamara." "Hi, Tamara." He was quiet for a moment. Then, "Want some company? Or do you want to be alone? Both are fine. I know what it's like. Being alone at 2 a.m. It's... Yeah." She should say no. Should go inside. Should stop crying in front of a stranger. But she was so tired of being alone. "Company would be good," she whispered. Carter nodded. Looked at the divider between their balconies. "This is going to look weird, but..." He climbed over, landed on her balcony, sat down next to her, back against the wall, not close, respectful distance. They sat in silence. The city hummed below them. Tamara tried to stop crying, failed. "You don't have to talk about it," Carter said quietly. "Whatever it is, but if you want to, I'm here. My ex-husband," her voice broke. He's having a baby, with his new girlfriend. And I couldn't give him that. That's why he left. Because She couldn't say it. Couldn't say broken out loud to this stranger. Carter was quiet. Then, "I'm sorry. That's God. I'm sorry." "Don't be. It's my fault. My body doesn't work right. He wanted to be a father. I couldn't give him that. So he left, and he deserves to be happy. He deserves. The tears came harder. He deserves someone who isn't broken. Hey, Carter's voice was firm. You're not broken. You don't know me. I know you're sitting out here at 2 a.m. crying over someone who hurt you. I know you're blaming yourself for something that wasn't your fault. I know you're carrying pain you shouldn't have to carry alone. He paused. And I know broken, trust me, you're not it. Tamara looked at him. Really looked. He had kind eyes, sad eyes, the eyes of someone who understood. Why are you awake at 2 a.m.? She asked. Divorce insomnia. Can't sleep in a new place yet. Everything's too quiet. You're divorced too? 6 months ago. Wife left me for my business partner. Took half my company in the settlement. So yeah, I get it. The 2 a.m. thing. The feeling like you failed at being human. Did you fail because your body didn't work? No. I failed because I chose my work over her. Because I was building an empire and forgot to build a marriage. He looked at the city. Different failure. Same outcome. They sat there. 2 strangers. 2 failures. 2 people trying to figure out how to breathe. Can I make you coffee? Carter asked finally. It's 2 a.m. Exactly. Best time for coffee. Despite everything, Tamara almost smiled. Okay. His place was barely furnished. Boxes everywhere. A couch. A coffee table. A kitchen that looked like it had never been used. I haven't unpacked yet, he said, handing her a mug. Keep meaning to. Then I get home from work and just stare at boxes. I've been here 6 months and I still have boxes. Tamara wrapped her hands around the mug. Warm. Real. I think I'm afraid if I unpack, it means I'm staying. And if I'm staying, it means this is my life now. What's wrong with this being your life? It's not the life I planned. I was supposed to be in the house with the yard. With. She stopped. Couldn't say with kids. With my husband. Building something. Now I'm here. Alone. Teaching middle school art and crying on balconies at 2 a.m. You're an art teacher? Yeah. Roosevelt Middle. Why? Nothing. Just you light up when you say it. Even now. Even crying. Your voice changes. She hadn't realized. I love my students. They're the only thing. Her voice caught. They're the only good thing right now. Tell me about them. So she did. About Jasmine, who painted like Basquiat. About Marcus, different Marcus, her student Marcus who'd finally opened up through sculpture. About the way her kids saw the world and made her remember why art mattered. Carter listened. Actually listened. Not like he was waiting for his turn to talk. Like her words mattered. When she finished, he said, You're a good teacher. I can tell. How? Because you see them. Really see them. That's rare. Do you have kids? The question came out before she could stop it. Before she could remember that asking about kids was like pressing on a bruise. No. Never wanted them. My ex did. That was part of the problem. Tamara blinked. You never wanted kids? No. I like my life quiet, controlled. Kids are chaos. Beautiful chaos. But not for me. He paused. Is that weird? No. It's just most men want kids. Want to pass on their legacy, continue their line, have someone to carry their name. I'm not most men. He smiled. Besides, I'm a workaholic. It wouldn't be fair to kids. Or a partner. My ex was right about that. They talked until 4 a.m. About work and divorce and the strange loneliness of starting over. About how it felt to be 30-something and unmoored. About how 2 a.m. was the worst time to be awake, but somehow the easiest time to be honest. When Tamara finally went back to her apartment, she realized something. She'd stopped crying. For the first time in 6 months, the hollow ache in her chest felt smaller. Just a little. But enough. It became a pattern. Carter would hear her on the balcony, would come out with coffee. They'd talk. About nothing. Everything. Work. Divorce. The weird neighbor on the first floor who sang opera at 6 a.m. Never about the infertility. Tamara couldn't bring herself to say it. Couldn't admit how broken she was. Not to Carter, who was becoming something close to a friend. Then one Tuesday, Tamara came home from school to find a box outside her door. No label. Just a note. Saw this and thought of you. See? Inside. Oil paints. The expensive kind. The kind she used to use before Marcus and the fertility treatments ate all her money. The kind she'd stopped letting herself want because wanting hurt. She knocked on Carter's door. He answered in a suit, must have just gotten home from work. The paints, she said. You can't, this is too much. It's nothing. Carter, these are $200. And you're an artist who hasn't painted in how long? She couldn't speak. Tamra, paint, please. The world needs your art. Even if you don't believe that yet. How do you know I'm an artist? I teach middle school. You talk about art like it's oxygen. You notice colors other people miss. You see the world differently. That's not a teacher. That's an artist who happens to teach. He smiled. Paint something. Anything. Just don't let it die inside you. That night, Tamara opened the paints. She'd set up a tiny corner of her living room as a studio. Hadn't touched it in 8 months. Too painful. Too much hope attached to the woman she'd been before. But tonight, she mixed colors, put brush to canvas, and let herself feel something other than grief. She painted a balcony, 2 figures in the dark, coffee mugs, city lights, the loneliness that looks like connection when you find the right person to share it with. They were having dinner on his balcony. She'd brought pasta. He'd provided wine when her phone rang. Marcus. Her stomach dropped. You don't have to answer, Carter said quietly, but she did, because ignoring him felt like giving him more power. Hello? Tamara. Hey, it's me. I know. Her voice was cold. Good. What do you want, Marcus? I wanted to tell you before you saw it online. Jenna and I were getting married in 2 months, and she's pregnant. 5 months. I just thought you should know. Before people start talking, the world tilted. You're getting married. Yeah, I know it's fast, but when you know, you know. And the baby, it just makes sense. When you know, you know. They'd been together 7 years before he proposed. But sure, when you know. Congratulations, Tamara heard herself say. I hope you're happy. I am. I really am. And Tamara, I'm sorry for how I ended things. I should have been braver, should have talked to you instead of leaving a note. You deserved better. Yeah, I did. She hung up, set down her phone, stared at the city lights. Tamara, Carter started. He's getting married. She's pregnant. He's getting everything he wanted, everything I couldn't give him. Her voice was hollow, and he called to tell me, to make sure I knew, before people started talking, like I'm a problem to manage. He's an idiot. He's a father. He's getting what he wanted, with someone whose body works. Tamara. I'm broken, Carter. You keep saying I'm not, but I am. My body doesn't work. I can't have children. And that's what's expected. That's what makes you a complete woman. That's what, her voice broke. He left me because I'm defective, and now he's proving he was right. She can give him what I can't. Carter was quiet for a long moment. Then he did something that surprised her. He pulled her into his arms, just held her, didn't try to fix it, didn't offer platitudes, just held her while she cried into his chest and let herself break. You're not broken, he said into her hair. You're not defective. You're not less than. You're a complete person exactly as you are, with or without children, with or without a uterus that works the way you want it to. You're whole. How can you know that? You barely know me. I know enough. I know you light up when you talk about your students. I know you see beauty in things other people miss. I know you're kind and funny and real. I know you bring me dinner when you don't have to. I know you paint balconies and call them hope. He pulled back, looked at her. And I know Marcus was a fool, because if he couldn't see your worth, he didn't deserve you in the first place. Tamara looked up at him, at this man who'd become her friend, her safe place, the only person who'd seen her break and hadn't run. And something shifted, something dangerous. She wanted him, not as a friend, as more, as the man who made her feel whole when her body insisted she was broken. But wanting him meant risking everything, meant eventual rejection when he realized what she couldn't give him, meant heartbreak when he left like Marcus did, so she pulled away. Thank you, for everything. I should go. Tamara. I'm fine, really. I need to be alone. She walked back to her apartment, closed the door, leaned against it, and let herself want something she couldn't have, again. Quick pause if you're feeling this story. Hit the hype and share so others can find it. Comment where you're watching from. Now, back to the story. Tamara stood in her living room at 11 p.m., covered in paint. The canvas in front of her showed a woman standing in a doorway, half her body in shadow, half in light. The shadow side was blue-black, drowning. The light side was gold and warm but distant, unreachable. The woman's face was turned away. She'd been painting for 3 hours. Hadn't meant to. Had come home from a particularly hard day, parent-teacher conferences, one mother asking why Tamara didn't have kids of her own if she loved children so much and needed to get the feeling out of her body before it consumed her. A knock on her door pulled her out of the trance. Carter stood in the hallway holding Thai food. Saw your light on. Figured you hadn't eaten. I ordered too much. Again, he did this now. Showed up with food, with coffee, with excuses to check on her that they both knew weren't really excuses. I'm a mess, she said, gesturing at the paint on her hands, her shirt, probably her face. You're an artist. There's a difference. He held up the bag. Pad Thai, your favorite. She let him in. He'd been here enough times now that it felt natural. He set the food on her small dining table, then stopped when he saw the canvas. Is that new? Started it tonight. He walked closer. Studied it. Really studied it. The way people who understand art do. Not just looking. Seeing. It's you, he said quietly. What? The woman. It's you. Half in darkness, half reaching for light. But the light's too far away, and you don't know if you can cross the distance. Tamara's throat tightened. How did you? Because I felt it. That exact feeling. Like you're stuck between the person you were and the person you're trying to become, and you don't know if the distance is crossable. He turned to her. This is brilliant, Tamara. Like gallery-level brilliant. It's just I was processing. It's art. Real art. The kind that makes people feel less alone. He paused. How long have you been painting like this? Like what? Like you're exorcising demons. She almost laughed. Is it that obvious? Only to someone paying attention. He gestured to the corner where 3 other canvases leaned against the wall, faces turned away. Can I see those? She shouldn't let him. They were too raw, too revealing, too much of the broken parts she kept hidden, but she nodded. Carter turned them around one by one. The first, a hospital waiting room painted in greys and whites. Empty chairs. A single woman, curled in on herself. Clock on the wall showing 2 a.m. The second, hands reaching for each other across a chasm, almost touching. Not quite. The space between them filled with words like broken and defective and sorry. The third, a woman's silhouette filled with flowers, but the flowers were wilting, dying from the inside out. Carter was silent for a long time. These are about the infertility, he said finally. Not a question, a statement. Tamara froze. How did you know? You paint like someone grieving something that never existed, loss without death, hope without closure. He looked at her. I didn't know the details, but I knew it was something like this. Something that made you believe you were less than. She couldn't speak. Tamara, these are... He stopped, started again. These should be in a gallery. People need to see these, especially women going through what you went through. They need to know they're not alone. I can't show these. They're too honest, raw, real. He stepped closer. That's exactly why you should show them. Art isn't about being pretty. It's about being true. And these are the truest things I've ever seen. Carter, I have a friend, owns a gallery in Midtown. She's always looking for new artists. Let me show her your work. No, absolutely not. I can't, these are private. Why? Because they're about my broken body, about my failed marriage, about feeling like half a person. The words exploded out. I can't hang that on a wall for strangers to judge. They won't judge. They'll see themselves. That's what good art does. It shows people they're not alone in the dark. You don't understand. I understand perfectly. You're scared. You're scared that if you put your pain out there, it makes it real. It makes it permanent. It means you can't pretend anymore that you're fine. He took her paint-stained hands. But Tamara, you're not fine, and that's okay. You don't have to be fine. You just have to be honest. She looked down at their hands, his clean, hers covered in evidence of exorcism. What if people think I'm broken too? What if they see these paintings and think, they'll think you're brave. They'll think you're brilliant. They'll think you're an artist who turned pain into something beautiful. He squeezed her hands. I think that. And I've seen you at your worst. I've held you while you cried. I've sat with you at 2 a.m. And I don't think you're broken. I think you're the strongest person I know. You barely know me. I know enough. They stood there, hands held, the space between them charged with something neither was ready to name. Tamara pulled away first. The food's getting cold. Carter hadn't mentioned the paintings again. Hadn't pushed, just kept showing up with food and coffee and companionship. But tonight he'd texted, come to my office. I want to show you something. She'd almost said no, but curiosity won. His office was in a high-rise in Buckhead, floor-to-ceiling windows, view of the entire city. The kind of space that screamed wealth in a quiet, confident way. You work here? She asked when he let her in. Technically, I own the building, but yeah, this is where I pretend to work. He led her to his desk, opened his laptop. I want you to see something, but you have to promise not to freak out. That's never a good start to a sentence. Promise anyway. Fine, I promise. He turned the laptop toward her. On the screen, her paintings, professionally photographed, on a gallery website, with descriptions, price tags, An artist statement she hadn't written. Carter, what did you... My friend Maya runs this gallery. I sent her photos of your work. She wants to exhibit them. Next month. Full show. 20 pieces. She's calling it Unbroken, the Art of Survival. He paused. I know you said no, but I needed you to see that other people see what I see, that your art matters, that you matter. Tamara couldn't breathe. You had no right. I know. And if you want to pull the show, we will. I'll call Maya right now. But Tamara, he stood, crossed to her. Please don't. Please let the world see what I see. Please let yourself believe you're more than what your body can or can't do. I only have 6 paintings. So paint more. You have a month. I'll help. I'll bring you food, coffee, canvas, paint, whatever you need. Just paint. Please. Why do you care so much? The question hung in the air. Carter looked at her like he was deciding something. Then, because when I look at you, I don't see broken. I see a woman who survived something that should have destroyed her. I see an artist who turns pain into beauty. I see someone who's kind to strangers even when she's drowning. He paused. And I see someone I'm starting to care about more than I should. The air left the room. Carter, I'm not asking for anything. I know you're not ready. I know you're still healing from Marcus. I know you probably see me as just a friend. That's fine. I can be that. But I needed you to know you're not broken. Not even close. And anyone who made you believe that was blind. Tamara's eyes filled. You don't know what you're saying. You don't know what being with me means. What I can't give you. I know you can't have children. You told me. That night on the balcony. And I told you I don't want children. I never have. That's not something I'm saying to make you feel better. That's the truth. But what if you change your mind? What if 5 years from now you wake up and realize you do want kids? And I'm the reason you can't have them? Then I'd still choose you. His voice was firm. Tamara, I'm not Marcus. I'm not going to leave you because your body doesn't do what he wanted it to do. I'm choosing you. Not your uterus. You. She was crying now. Full tears. The kind that came from somewhere deep and buried. I don't know how to believe that. Then let me show you. Let me prove it. One day at a time. One painting at a time. One coffee at a time. Let me prove that you're enough, exactly as you are. She couldn't sleep. Carter's words played on repeat. I'm choosing you, not your uterus. You. No one had ever said that. Marcus had loved her, but he'd wanted children more. Her mother had been sympathetic, but kept saying, maybe it's not meant to be. Her friends had tried to help, but eventually stopped asking about treatments, stopped bringing it up. Let the subject die because it was easier than sitting with her grief. Only Carter had looked at her broken pieces and said, these make you whole, not less. She got up, walked to her tiny studio corner, pulled out a fresh canvas, and started painting. She painted a man sitting in darkness, holding coffee, the glow from his apartment spilling onto a woman's face. Her face, the light touching her like a question, like an invitation, like, what if you're safe here? She painted until dawn, until her hands cramped, until the image in her head lived on the canvas. Then she texted Carter, okay. He responded immediately, despite the 6 a.m. timestamp. Okay, what? The gallery show. I'll do it. But I need help. I need to paint 14 more pieces in 3 weeks. I'll bring breakfast and coffee, and I'll sit with you while you work. We'll get through this together. Why are you helping me? The response took longer this time. Because you're helping me too. You just don't know it yet. They'd fallen into a rhythm. Carter would come to her apartment after work, bring food, sit on her couch while she painted. He'd work on his laptop emails, contracts, the empire he was building while she exercised demons onto canvas. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they sat in comfortable silence. Sometimes he'd look up and catch her watching him, and the air would shift, and they'd both look away. Tonight she was working on a piece about Marcus, about the note he'd left, about coming home to an empty house. She'd been avoiding this one. Too raw, too recent. Tell me about him, Carter said suddenly. Tamara's brush paused. Marcus? Yeah, what was he like? Before. Why do you want to know? Because he was part of your life. Because understanding him helps me understand you. Because, he shrugged, because I want to know your story. All of it. Not just the pretty parts. She set down her brush. He was my high school sweetheart. Dated him through college. Got married at 25. He was safe, predictable. We had a plan. House, kids, white picket fence, normal, life. What changed? I couldn't get pregnant. We tried for 3 years. Every month, My period would come, and I'd break a little more. He'd say it was fine. We'd try again. But I could see it. The disappointment, the resentment, the way he'd look at me like I was failing him. He told you that. He didn't have to. I could feel it. She picked up her brush, added shadow to the canvas. The fertility treatments were expensive, invasive, humiliating. I'd go to appointments alone because Marcus had to work. I'd get the shots, take the hormones, let doctors examine me like I was broken machinery they could fix. And every time it failed, Marcus would pull away a little more. That must have been lonely. It was. But I thought if I could just fix myself, everything would be okay. If I could give him a baby, he'd love me again. She laughed bitterly. Turns out I was the problem that couldn't be fixed. You weren't the problem. The marriage was. How do you figure? Because marriage is supposed to be in sickness and in health. Because he vowed to stand by you. Because when things got hard, he left instead of staying. That's not your failure. That's his. Tamara had heard versions of this before. From friends, from her therapist. But hearing it from Carter, from someone who'd seen her at her worst and stayed, it landed differently. Do you really believe that? She asked quietly. I do. And Tamara, he stood, crossed to her. You deserved better. You deserved a partner who would hold your hand through treatments, who would cry with you every month, who would look at you and see your worth beyond your ability to have children. You deserved someone who stayed. Like you? The question came out before she could stop it. Bold, dangerous, real. Carter looked at her. Really looked. Yeah, like me. The distance between them was too small. The air too charged. The wanting too obvious. Carter, I can't if we do this, if we cross this line. Her voice shook. What if you leave too? What if I let myself love you and you realize I'm not worth it? I won't leave. You can't know that. I can. Because I've seen you broken. I've seen you paint your pain. I've seen you at 2 a.m. drowning in grief. And I'm still here, still showing up, still wanting to know you more. He reached out, tucked a paint-stained strand of hair behind her ear. I'm not going anywhere, Tamara. I'm in this. Whatever this becomes, she should pull away, should protect herself, should remember that hoping is dangerous and love ends and everyone leaves eventually. But she didn't. She leaned into his touch. Let herself want. Let herself hope. I'm scared, she whispered. Me too. But I think being scared together is better than being safe alone. He was right. God help her. He was right. Tamara stood in Maya Chen's gallery, staring at her paintings on the walls. 14 pieces, 3 weeks of work. Her entire soul exposed under track lighting for strangers to judge. They're stunning, Maya said, walking the space with a critical eye. Raw, honest. Exactly what this city needs. Too much sanitized art, not enough truth. Maya was early 40s, Chinese-American, sharp in a way that made Tamara both intimidated and inspired. She'd built her gallery from nothing, represented artists who weren't afraid to bleed on canvas. I'm terrified, Tamara admitted. Good. Fear means it matters. Maya stopped in front of the painting of the woman in the doorway, half shadow, half light. This one's my favorite. What are you calling it? Threshold. Perfect. We'll make it the centerpiece. Put it right here. She gestured to the main wall. First thing people see when they walk in. Tamara's stomach churned. That painting was the most vulnerable, the most her, the most likely to make people see exactly how broken she felt. Are you sure? Maybe one of the less what? Less honest? Less painful? Maya turned to her. Tamara, people don't come to art galleries to see pretty pictures. They come to feel something, to see themselves. This painting, she gestured to the canvas. This painting will make women cry, will make them feel seen. That's the point. What if they think I'm broken? Then they'll think you're human, which you are. And that's why this show will work. The bell above the gallery door chimed. Carter walked in carrying coffee and pastries. Morning. How's it looking? Like your instincts were right. Maya took a coffee from him. She's brilliant. This show's going to sell out opening night. Told you. Carter handed Tamara her usual order, vanilla latte, extra shot. You okay? Terrified. That's normal. You two are ganging up on me with the fear is good talk, because it's true. Carter studied the walls. These are even more powerful here, lit properly, given space to breathe. Carter brought me your artist statement, Maya said, but I want to revise it, make it more personal. Can you tell me in your own words what this work is about? Tamara looked at Carter. He nodded encouragement. It's about, she took a breath, it's about what it feels like to be told your body is broken, about losing a marriage because you couldn't do the one thing you were supposed to do, about grieving children you never had, About learning to believe you're whole even when the world says you're not. Maya was typing on her phone. That, exactly that. We're using those words. That's your statement. It's too raw. It's perfect. Trust me. People will line up to see this show. Tamara was grading papers when her phone rang. Her mother. She almost didn't answer. Their last conversation had been stilted, careful, her mother trying too hard to say the right thing and failing. But guilt won. Hi, Mama. Baby girl. How are you? I'm good. Busy. Got an art show opening this weekend. An art show? Tamara, that's wonderful. Why didn't you tell me? Because I couldn't handle your questions. Because I knew you'd ask if I was okay. Because I'm barely holding it together, and your sympathy would break me. It came together fast. It's at a gallery in Midtown, Friday night. What kind of art? Your paintings? Yeah. It's about the divorce. About everything that happened. Silence on the other end. Then, oh baby, are you sure that's wise? Putting that out there for everyone to see? And there it was. The doubt, the worry, the concern, disguised as protection. It's important to me, Mama. I know. What if Marcus sees it? What if people judge you? What if, she paused, what if it makes the hurt worse? Or what if it helps me heal? I'm just worried, baby. You've been through so much. And now you're exposing yourself, making yourself vulnerable. What if people use it against you? Then they do. But Mama, I can't spend my life hiding because I'm afraid of judgment. I can't pretend I'm fine when I'm not. This art, it's the most honest thing I've ever done. I know you're strong. You've always been strong. But sometimes being strong means protecting yourself, not putting your pain on display. Tamara closed her eyes. Are you coming to the opening? Of course. I wouldn't miss it. I'm your mother. But the worry in her voice said what she wasn't saying. I'm scared for you. I'm scared you're going to get hurt again. I'm scared this is a mistake. After they hung up, Tamara sat staring at her phone. Maybe her mother was right. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe exposing her pain would just give people ammunition. Marcus would see it. His new wife would see it. Everyone would know exactly how broken she was. Her phone buzzed. Carter, dinner? I'm bringing Italian. She smiled despite the knot in her stomach. Yes. I need to not think for a while. I'm excellent at distraction. See you at 7. They'd eaten, talked about nothing. Work, gossip, and bad TV and the weather. Surface things, safe things. But Carter could tell something was off. What's wrong? He asked finally. My mother called. About the show. And she thinks I'm making a mistake. Thinks I'm exposing myself too much. That people will judge me. Tamara picked at her food. What if she's right? What if Marcus sees these paintings and I don't know, thinks I'm pathetic? What if people look at my work and just see a bitter ex-wife? Do you think that's what your work is? Bitter? No. But then stop worrying about what other people think. This work is yours, your truth, your healing. What Marcus thinks doesn't matter. What your mother thinks doesn't matter. What matters is that you're being honest, that you're turning pain into art, that you're surviving. Easy for you to say. You're not the one hanging your broken pieces on a wall. Actually, Carter set down his fork. I am. You're not the only one exposed here. These paintings, I'm in them. The coffee at 2 a.m. The balcony conversations. The man who sat with you in the dark. People are going to know I was part of your story. She hadn't thought about that. Does that bother you? No. I'm honored to be part of your story, even the painful parts, especially the painful parts, because those are the parts that made you who you are. And who am I? Someone brave, someone real, someone who refused to let pain win. He reached across the table, took her hand. Tamara, I believe in you. I believe in this show. I believe people are going to see your work and feel less alone. That's worth the risk. What if you're wrong? Then we'll deal with it together. But I'm not wrong. She wanted to believe him. Wanted to believe this show would be cathartic instead of humiliating, that people would see strength instead of weakness. Carter, she paused. Why are you doing this? Really? Why do you care so much about my art? About me? He was quiet for a long moment. Then, because when I met you, I was barely surviving my own divorce, going through the motions, building my company because it was all I knew how to do. And then you, this grieving woman on a balcony, you reminded me what it felt like to be human, to feel something real, to connect with someone who wasn't trying to get something from me. I don't understand. My ex-wife wanted my money, my status, the lifestyle. She didn't want me, not really. And when she left, I thought, okay, that's what relationships are. Transactional, performative, temporary. He squeezed her hand. But you're different. You don't want anything from me. You let me sit with you, be quiet with you, be real with you. That's rare, that's," his voice caught. "That's everything." Tamara couldn't breathe. "Carter, I'm falling for you. I know it's too soon. I know you're not ready. I know we said we'd just be friends. But I can't keep pretending that's all this is. Not when you look at me like that. Not when I can't stop thinking about you. Not when—" He stopped. "I'm sorry. This isn't fair. You're dealing with the show, and your mother and Marcus, and I'm falling for you too." The words hung in the air. Carter stared at her. "What?" "I'm falling for you too. I've been trying not to. Been telling myself it's too soon, too risky, too scary. But I can't help it. You've seen the worst parts of me and stayed. You've sat with my grief. You've believed in my art when I didn't believe in myself. Her voice broke. "You've made me feel whole when I was convinced I was broken. You are whole. You always were. I'm starting to believe that. Because of you." The distance between them was too small, the wanting too obvious, the moment too big to ignore. Carter stood, crossed to her side of the table, pulled her to her feet. "Can I kiss you?" he asked quietly. "Yes." He kissed her, soft at first, tentative, like he was afraid she'd break, then deeper when she kissed him back, when she wound her hands into his hair. When she let herself want without protecting herself, when they broke apart, they were both breathing hard. "I've wanted to do that for weeks," he said. "Me too. Tamara, I need you to know something. This, us, it's not about fixing you. You don't need to be fixed. It's not about saving you. You don't need to be saved. It's just I want you, exactly as you are. Broken pieces and all. You keep saying I'm not broken. You're not. But even if you were, I'd want you anyway. That's what I need you to understand. Your infertility doesn't make you less desirable. It doesn't make me want you less. If anything, it makes me want you more. Because you survived it. Because you turned it into art. Because you're here, breathing, fighting, living." She kissed him again. Because words weren't enough. Because she needed him to know she believed him. Because for the first time since Marcus left, she felt like maybe she was worthy of being chosen. Simone had been Tamara's friend since college, Spellman sisters, had held her through the divorce, through the fertility treatments, through every breakdown. Now she sat across from Tamara at their favorite coffee shop, eyes wide. "You're dating the billionaire neighbor." "We're not. It's new. We kissed last night." "Kissed? Girl, you buried the lead. Tell me everything." So Tamara did. The 2 a.m. balconies, the paintings, the gallery show, the way Carter saw her, made her feel whole, believed in her art. Simone listened, smiled. Then her expression shifted. "Tamara, I love you. You know I love you. But I have to ask, are you sure about this?" "Sure about what?" "Him, this relationship. It's been 6 months since Marcus. 6 months since the divorce. Are you sure you're ready? Or are you using Carter to prove you're not broken?" The words landed like a punch. "What? I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to protect you. You've been through hell, and now this rich, handsome man shows up and tells you everything you want to hear. That you're whole, that you're not broken, that your infertility doesn't matter. Doesn't that seem convenient?" "Convenient?" Like maybe he's saying what you need to hear, not what he actually means. "Tamara, men say they don't want kids. Until they do. What happens in 5 years when Carter realizes he wants a family? What happens when you can't give him that? He doesn't want children, he told me. He told you that now, when it's new and exciting and you're the woman who makes him feel alive. But what about later? What about when the newness wears off? You really think a billionaire is going to stay with a woman who can't give him an heir?" "Simone, I'm serious. Think about it. Carter's wealthy, successful. He's going to want someone to pass that on to. And you." She reached across the table, took Tamara's hand. "Baby, you can't give him that. And I don't want you to get your heart broken again. Not after Marcus. Not when you're finally starting to heal." Tamara pulled her hand back. "You think I'm not enough for him? That's not what I said. That's exactly what you said. You think Carter's going to leave me, like Marcus did, because I'm broken and he deserves better. I think Carter might not know what he wants yet, and I think you're vulnerable. And I think," Simone's voice softened, "I think you deserve someone who's sure, someone who knows he wants a child-free life, not someone who's saying it because he's caught up in the romance. You don't know him, and you do? You've known him 2 months. 2 months, Tamara. That's not enough time to know if someone's going to stay. It was enough time for Marcus to decide to leave." Simone flinched. "That's not fair, isn't it? You're sitting here telling me Carter's going to leave, that I'm not enough for him, that I should protect myself. But where were you when Marcus was pulling away? When I was going to fertility treatments alone? When I was drowning and nobody noticed? That's not Tamara. I was there. You were sympathetic. You weren't there. Nobody was there. Until Carter. Tamara stood. I'm sorry. I need to go. Tamara. Wait. But she was already walking out. She showed up at his door crying. Again. Seemed like that's all she did lately, cry and paint and try to hold herself together. Carter pulled her inside without questions, held her on his couch until she could speak. Simone thinks I'm making a mistake, she said finally. Thinks you're going to leave. Thinks I'm not enough for you because I can't have children. What do you think? I think she might be right. I think everyone's right. My mother, Simone, even Marcus. I think I'm setting myself up to get hurt again. Because why would you stay? Why would anyone stay with someone who's broken? Carter pulled back, looked at her. Okay, I'm going to say this once, and I need you to really hear me. Carter, you're not broken. I know you don't believe that yet. I know it's going to take time. But Tamara, I'm not staying with you in spite of your infertility. I'm not staying because I'm being noble or charitable or whatever bullshit Simone implied. I'm staying because I want you. Because when I'm with you, I feel like myself. Because you make me laugh. Because you challenge me. Because you see me as more than my bank account. But what if you change your mind? About kids? I won't. I've never wanted children. Never. My ex-wife wanted them. That's part of why we didn't work. I tried to want them because she did. But I don't. I want my life quiet. Controlled. I want to build my company and travel and have adult conversations over coffee at 2 a.m. I don't want midnight feedings and diaper changes and PTA meetings. I never have. People change. Not about this. Tamara, I'm 35. If I wanted kids, I'd have them by now. I've had relationships. I've had opportunities. I've never wanted them. This isn't me saying what you want to hear. This is the truth. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him. Simone said it's too soon, that we've only known each other 2 months. Do you think it's too soon? I think when you know, you know. And I know I feel safer with you than I've felt with anyone. I know I want to tell you about my day. I know I miss you when you're gone. I know, her voice broke. I know I'm falling in love with you and it terrifies me. Carter cupped her face. I'm falling in love with you too. And it terrifies me too. But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you. He kissed her. And this time, when they broke apart, Tamara let herself believe. Just a little. Tamara stood in the bathroom of Maya's gallery, staring at herself in the mirror. Black dress. Simple. Elegant. The kind of armor you wore when you needed to feel put together, even though you were falling apart inside. Her paintings were on the walls. Strangers were arriving. Critics, collectors, people who would look at her most vulnerable moments and judge them. And somewhere out there, Carter was waiting, believing in her, standing with her. A knock on the door. Tamara, it's time. Maya's voice. She took a breath, opened the door. The gallery was packed. At least 60 people. More arriving. Maya had promoted the show hard press releases, Instagram, word of mouth in the art community. Unbroken, The Art of Survival, by Tamara Johnson, read the banner near the entrance. Carter found her immediately. Crossed the room, looked devastating in a dark suit. You look beautiful, he said quietly. I'm terrified, I know. But look, he gestured to the crowd. They're here for you. They want to see your work, want to connect with it. A woman approached, 50s, white, expensively dressed. Are you the artist? Yes, Tamara Johnson. These pieces, the woman's eyes were wet. I've been through 3 miscarriages. Nobody talks about it. Nobody says how it feels to lose something that never existed. But this, she pointed to the painting of the woman filled with dying flowers. This is exactly how it feels. Thank you, for making me feel less alone. She walked away before Tamara could respond. See? Carter squeezed her hand. You're doing that. Making people feel seen. More people came. More stories. Women who'd struggled with infertility, who'd lost marriages, who'd felt broken and defective and less than. Men who'd watched their partners suffer. People who saw themselves in the pain Tamara had hung on the walls. By 8 p.m., 12 paintings had sold. This is incredible, Maya said, pulling Tamara aside. I've never seen response like this. The Washington Post wants to interview you. Atlanta magazine wants to feature you. Tamara, you're about to become a name. Tamara felt dizzy. I wasn't expecting. You tapped into something real. That's rare. Embrace it. Then she saw him. Marcus, standing near the entrance, looking at her paintings. His pregnant wife beside him, Jenna, the woman whose body worked, the woman who could give him what Tamara couldn't. Carter followed her gaze. Is that? Yeah. Do you want to leave? We can go out the back. No, this is my show, my work. If he has a problem with it, he can leave. But her hands were shaking, her breath shallow, because Marcus was looking at Threshold, the painting of the woman, half in shadow, half in light. The painting about feeling stuck between who she was and who she was trying to become. He crossed the gallery. Jenna followed, one hand on her very pregnant belly. Tamra. Marcus's voice was careful. I didn't know you were. These are your paintings? Yes. They're, he looked uncomfortable. They're intense. They're honest. Jenna was looking at the painting of the hospital waiting room, the empty chairs. The woman curled in on herself. Is this about... She stopped. Is this about your fertility stuff? Your fertility stuff. Like it was a hobby, a phase, something casual and dismissible. Yes, Tamara said coldly. It's about my infertility, about my divorce, about being told I was broken because my body didn't work the way everyone wanted it to. Marcus shifted. Tamara, I never said you were broken. You left me a note on the kitchen counter. I want to be a father. You can't give me that. What was I supposed to think? I was trying to be honest. You were cruel. You left me when I needed you most. You proved that my worth was tied to my uterus, and now you're here, with your pregnant wife, looking at the art I made from the pain you caused. Her voice was rising. People were watching. Carter's hand was on her back, steadying. So yes, Marcus, these paintings are intense, because you destroyed me, and I'm still here, still breathing, still surviving. That's what this show is about. Jenna's face was red. We should go. Yeah, you should. Carter's voice was quiet but firm. This isn't your space. You're not welcome here. Marcus looked at Carter. Really looked. Who are you? I'm the man who's been holding her while she cries over what you did. I'm the man who sees her worth. I'm the man who's not leaving. Carter stepped closer. You had something extraordinary and you threw it away. That's on you. Now leave before you cause more damage. Marcus and Jenna left. The gallery was silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another person. Then the entire room erupted in applause. Tamara couldn't breathe. I need air. Carter guided her to the back exit, into the alley behind the gallery. Cool night air, streetlights, the sound of the city humming. I'm sorry, she gasped. I shouldn't have in front of everyone. Don't apologize. He deserved it. And everyone in that gallery just saw you stand up for yourself. That's powerful. I feel like I'm going to throw up. That's adrenaline. Breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. She did. He held her. Let her shake. Let her process. He brought her, Tamara said finally. His pregnant wife, to my show about infertility. What kind of person does that? The kind who's small, who needs to make sure you know he's moved on, who can't stand that you're succeeding without him. What if people think I'm bitter? What if the press writes about how the scorned ex-wife made art about her failed marriage? Then they'll write it. And you'll survive it, just like you survived everything else. She looked up at him. Why are you so sure? Because I've watched you survive for 2 months. I've seen you break and rebuild, paint and grieve and show up anyway. You're the strongest person I know. Some critics aren't going to destroy that. She wanted to believe him. But Simone's words kept echoing. You've known him 2 months. That's not enough time to know if someone's going to stay. Carter, she pulled away. What are we doing? What do you mean? This. Us. We're moving fast. Too fast. I'm falling for you, and I don't know if I can trust it. If I can trust myself. What if I'm using you to feel whole? What if Simone's right? Simone doesn't know what we have. Nobody knows what we have because we've known each other 2 months. 2 months, Carter. That's nothing. That's... Her voice broke. What if I'm just trauma bonding? What if I'm confusing gratitude with love? What if the second I'm healed, I realize I don't actually want you? The words hung in the air like poison. Carter stepped back. Do you believe that? I don't know what I believe anymore. Tamara, everyone keeps telling me this is too fast. My mother, Simone, even the rational part of my brain. And maybe they're right. Maybe I need to slow down, figure out who I am without Marcus before I jump into something new. Is that what you want? To slow down? I don't know. Carter, you saw what happened in there, with Marcus. I fell apart, in front of everyone. That's who I am right now. A mess. Someone who can't even handle seeing her ex without having a breakdown. How is that fair to you? I don't care about fair. I care about you. But maybe you shouldn't. The words exploded out. Maybe you should care about finding someone who isn't broken. Someone who can give you an easy relationship. Someone who doesn't come with infertility and trauma and ex-husbands showing up at galleries. I don't want easy. I want you. Why? She was crying now. Full sobs. Why would you want me? I'm damaged. I'm the woman whose husband left her, whose body doesn't work, who makes art about being broken. Why would anyone want that? Because you're not broken. Carter crossed to her, grabbed her shoulders. Not rough, firm. Tamara, listen to me. You are not broken. You're hurt. You're healing. You're surviving something that should have destroyed you. But you're not broken. And I don't want easy. I don't want someone without scars. I want you. Exactly as you are. Scars and all. You say that now. I'll say it forever. As many times as you need to hear it. I'm not leaving. I'm not Marcus. I'm not going to wake up one day and decide you're not enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. He was just too blind to see it. She wanted to believe him. God, she wanted to believe him. But the fear was too loud, the doubt too strong. The voice in her head that sounded like Marcus and Simone and every person who'd ever told her she wasn't enough. I need space, she whispered. What? I need to think, figure things out. I can't, Carter. I can't be what you need when I don't even know what I need. Tamara, don't do this. I have to figure out if this is real. If I'm choosing you because I want you, or because I'm scared of being alone. You know the answer to that. Do I? Because right now, I don't know anything. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want. I need time. Carter looked at her, really looked, and she saw it the moment he decided to let her go, the moment he chose to respect what she was asking, even though it was killing him. Okay, he said quietly. Take your time. Figure things out. I'll be here when you're ready. And if I'm never ready, then I'll still be here. Because that's what love is. Showing up. Even when it's hard. He walked away, left her standing in the alley, crying, breaking, pushing away the best thing in her life because she was too scared to believe she deserved it. Tamara hadn't left her apartment. The gallery show had been a massive success. All 14 paintings sold. The Washington Post interview was scheduled for Tuesday. Atlanta magazine wanted a feature. Maya had collectors calling about commissioning new work, but Tamara couldn't celebrate, because Carter was gone. Not physically, she could still see his balcony from hers, his lights on at night, but emotionally. She'd pushed him away, told him she needed space, and he'd given it. Her phone rang. Simone. Hey, how are you? I'm fine. Liar. I saw the Post article about the gallery, about Marcus showing up, about you defending your work. Tamara, that was amazing. Was it? Because I feel like I'm falling apart. What happened? So she told her. Everything. The fight with Carter, pushing him away, telling him she needed space. Simone was quiet for a long moment. Then, oh, honey, what did you do? I protected myself, like you said. I slowed down. Made sure I wasn't rushing. I was wrong. What? I was wrong. About Carter. About you needing time. I was scared for you. Scared you'd get hurt again. But Tamara, that man loves you. Anyone can see it. And you love him. And you just pushed him away because you're scared. You told me to be careful. I told you to be careful because I love you, and I didn't want to watch you break again. But I was wrong. Sometimes being careful means missing out on something real. And Carter, he's real. The way he looked at you at the gallery, the way he stood up to Marcus, the way he's given you space even though it's killing him. That's love. Real love. But what if I'm not healed enough? What if I'm just using him? Are you, really? Or are you using that as an excuse to push him away before he can hurt you? The question landed like a bomb. Tamara, you're scared. I get it. Marcus destroyed you. But Carter's not Marcus, and you're punishing him for Marcus's sins. That's not fair. Not to him, not to you. After they hung up, Tamara sat on her balcony, stared at Carter's balcony. Dark tonight. His lights off. Maybe he was asleep. Maybe he was out. Maybe he was. His sliding door opened. Carter stepped out, coffee mug in hand. Saw her. They stared at each other across the divider. Hi, she said quietly. Hi. Can we talk? Depends. Are you going to tell me you need more space? Because I'll respect that. But Tamara, I can't keep having this conversation. I can't keep proving I'm staying. At some point, you have to believe me. I know. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was scared and I pushed you away and Her voice broke. I'm an idiot. You're not an idiot. You're scared. There's a difference. I don't want space. I want you. I want... She stood. Can I come over? He nodded. She stood in his living room. He stood by the kitchen, distance between them. Careful, uncertain. I'm sorry, she said, for pushing you away, for doubting you, for letting fear win. I understand why you did it. That doesn't make it okay. You've been nothing but patient and kind and honest, and I repaid that by telling you I didn't know if my feelings were real. That was cruel and untrue. My feelings are real. I know they're real. I'm terrified of them. Why? Because loving someone means giving them the power to destroy you. Marcus had that power. He used it. And I'm scared you will too. I won't. How can you know that? Because I've already seen you destroyed. I've sat with you at 2 a.m. while you cried. I've held you through panic attacks. I've watched you paint your grief. And I'm still here, still choosing you. That's not going away. Simone said, I'm punishing you for Marcus's sins. Are you? Maybe. Probably. I don't know how to stop being scared. Carter crossed to her, slowly. Then don't stop. Be scared. But be scared with me. Let me prove I'm staying. Let me show you that love doesn't have to end in destruction. What if I mess this up again? What if I get scared and push you away? Then I'll pull you back, as many times as it takes, until you believe I'm not going anywhere. She looked up at him. Why? Why are you so sure about me? Because I've been waiting my whole life for someone real. Someone who sees me. Someone who doesn't want my money or my status. Just me. And that's you. You're the person I've been waiting for. I'm not letting you go without a fight. I don't deserve you. Yes, you do. You deserve everything. Someone who stays. Someone who fights. Someone who sees your worth when you can't see it yourself. You deserve all of it. And I'm going to spend as long as it takes proving that to you. She kissed him, desperate, apologetic, full of everything she couldn't say. When they broke apart, she whispered, I love you. I'm terrified and broken and a mess, but I love you. I love you too. Terrified and broken and all. Take me to bed, she said quietly. Please, I need you to show me. Show you what? That I'm enough. Exactly as I am. That you want me. Not in spite of my broken pieces. Just me. He kissed her, soft, then deeper. You've always been enough. Let me show you. Tamara woke up, wrapped in Carter's arms. Sunlight streamed through floor-to-ceiling windows, white sheets tangled around them, his chest rising and falling beneath her cheek, the city humming below. She'd slept, really slept. No nightmares, no 2 a.m. panic, just peace. You're awake, Carter murmured, his voice rough with sleep. Yeah. How do you feel? She thought about it. Really thought. Safe. I feel safe. He kissed the top of her head. Good. That's all I want. For you to feel safe with me. I do. Last night. She couldn't find words. Thank you. For being patient. For making me feel like I was enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. They lay there in comfortable silence. No rush. No performance. Just two people who'd found each other in the dark and were learning to exist in the light. I have a confession, Carter said finally. What? I bought one of your paintings. At the gallery. Before the show even opened. She sat up, pulling the sheet with her. Which one? Threshold. The woman in the doorway. Half shadow, half light. Carter. That was $10,000. And worth every penny. That painting, it's you. It's where you were when I met you, stuck between grief and healing. And I wanted it. Wanted to remember the moment I realized I was falling for you. When did you know that you were falling? The night on the balcony, when you told me about Marcus. When you said you felt broken, I looked at you and thought, this woman doesn't know how extraordinary she is, and I wanted to be the one to show her. Tears slipped down her cheeks. You did. You are. We're not done yet. You still have moments where you doubt, where you believe Marcus's lies, where you think you're less than. But Tamara will keep working on it. Together. Until you believe it in your bones. What if I never fully believe it? Then I'll tell you every day until you do. The journalist Sarah Chen, arts and culture editor, sat across from Tamara in a coffee shop in Midtown, recording device between them. Carter had offered to come, but Tamara had said no. This was hers, her story, her voice. Your show Unbroken sold out opening night, Sarah said. 14 pieces, all purchased within 3 hours. That's unprecedented for an emerging artist. What do you attribute that success to? Honesty. People connected because I wasn't trying to hide. I put my grief on the walls, my divorce, my infertility, the feeling of being told you're broken, and people saw themselves. Your ex-husband attended the opening. That must have been difficult. Tamara had known this question was coming. had prepared. It was, but it was also necessary. He needed to see that I survived, that his leaving didn't destroy me, that I took the pain he caused and turned it into something beautiful. Some critics have called your work trauma porn. Too raw, too personal. What's your response? That they're wrong. Trauma isn't pornographic when it's real, when it's yours, when you're the one living it. Calling women's pain too much or too raw is just another way of telling us to be quiet, to be small, to not take up space. She paused. I'm done being small. Sarah smiled. Your artist statement mentions learning to believe you're whole despite infertility. Can you expand on that? This was the hard part. The part where she had to be vulnerable for strangers. But maybe that was the point. I spent 3 years trying to get pregnant, 2 years in fertility treatments, and when it didn't work, I truly believed that I was defective, that my worth as a woman was tied to my ability to have children. My husband left me because of it, and that confirmed every fear I had. How did you move past that? I'm still moving past it, every day. But I had help. Someone who showed me that my worth wasn't tied to my uterus, that I was complete exactly as I am. That being unable to have children didn't make me less, it just made me different. And different isn't defective. Is that someone the man you've been seen with? Carter Bennett? Tamara smiled. Yes, he's been everything. Patient, kind, honest. He sees me, not as a broken woman who needs fixing, just as me. That's rare. That's what love should be. You're using the word love. Is it serious? Yes, it's serious. It's real. She paused. It's the first time I've felt chosen. Not in spite of who I am, because of who I am. After the interview, Tamara sat in her car and called Carter. How'd it go? He asked. I told her about us, about you. Is that okay? More than okay. I want the world to know. I'm proud to be with you. Even though I'm the infertile artist making trauma porn, especially then. Screw the critics. Your work is brilliant, and you're brilliant, and I'm the luckiest man alive. She smiled. Want to come over? I'm making dinner. You're cooking? Don't sound so surprised. I can cook. I'll be there in 20. Should I bring wine? And low expectations for the food. Margaret Bennett was flying in from Boston, wanted to meet the woman her son couldn't stop talking about. Tamara was terrified. What if she hates me? She asked Carter while getting ready. Impossible. What if she thinks I'm after your money? Then I'll correct her. But she won't think that. My mother's perceptive. She'll see what I see. What do you see? Everything. They met at a restaurant in Buckhead. Upscale. The kind of place Tamara would never have gone before Carter, where the prices weren't listed and the waiters wore suits. Margaret Bennett was elegant. Early 60s, silver hair, kind eyes, white. Expensive in a quiet way. She hugged Tamara immediately. I've heard so much about you. All good things. Well, mostly Carter, rambling about your art and your smile and how you take your coffee. Tamara laughed despite her nerves. He talks about me, endlessly. It's adorable. And concerning. My son doesn't do this, doesn't fall this hard, this fast. So you must be special. They sat, ordered, made small talk about Atlanta and Boston and the weather. Then Margaret leaned forward. Tamara, I'm going to be direct. Is that okay? Yes. Carter told me about your infertility, about your divorce, about the pain you've been through. I want you to know that doesn't matter to me. What matters is that you make my son happy, that you see him for who he is, not what he has. Do you love him? Tamara didn't hesitate. Yes, completely. Good, because he loves you. And I haven't seen him this happy in ever, honestly. His ex-wife wanted his lifestyle, his status. She didn't want him. But you, I can see it in the way you look at him. You see him. That's rare. Margaret's eyes welled. That's all a mother wants. I can't give him children. If that's something you hoped for, I don't hope for children. I hope for my son's happiness. And if that happiness is with you, child-free, then I'm thrilled. Tamara, children aren't the point of life. Living is. Loving is. Building something real is. You're doing that. Together. That's what matters. Tamara's throat tightened. Thank you. For accepting me. I'm not accepting you in spite of anything. I'm accepting you because you're exactly what Carter needs. Someone real. Someone brave. Someone who turned pain into art. Margaret reached across the table, took Tamara's hand. I saw your work online. The paintings. They're extraordinary. You're extraordinary. Don't ever let anyone make you believe otherwise. By the end of dinner, Tamara felt like she'd known Margaret for years. They talked about art and teaching and Boston winters and Marcus showing up at the gallery. He brought his pregnant wife. Margaret's eyes narrowed. What kind of person does that? Someone who needs to prove he's moved on, Carter said. Someone who can't stand that Tamara's thriving without him. Well, he failed. Because you're clearly thriving. Both of you. Margaret smiled. When's the wedding? Mom? Carter's ears went red. What? I'm just asking. I need to know how much time I have to plan. Tamara laughed. We've only been together 3 months. And? When you know, you know. I knew I'd marry Carter's father after 2 weeks. We were married 40 years before he passed. Time doesn't determine love. Connection does. And you too. She gestured between them. You're connected. Don't waste time waiting for the right moment. The right moment is now. I like your mother, Tamara said, curled against him on the couch. She likes you too. I could tell. She didn't use her polite but judging voice. She has one of those? Oh yeah, reserved for people she's decided aren't good enough for her children. You got the real Margaret. The warm one. That's rare. She mentioned a wedding. Carter tensed slightly. I'm sorry. She's excited. She didn't mean to push. Do you want to marry me? The question hung in the air. Carter pulled back, looked at her. Yes, eventually. When you're ready. When you've healed enough to trust it. But Tamara, I'm not going anywhere. Whether we get married tomorrow or in 5 years or never. I'm yours. As long as you'll have me. What if I'm ready now? Now? Not right now. But Carter, I spent 7 years with Marcus. Waited for him to propose. Waited for him to choose me fully. And when he did, he left the first time things got hard. She sat up. But you've seen me at my absolute worst. You've sat with my grief. You've held me while I cried. You've believed in my art when I didn't believe in myself. You've already chosen me. 1,000 times. A ring doesn't change that. Are you saying? I'm saying I don't need to wait. I don't need more time to know you're the one. I know. I've known for weeks. I was just too scared to admit it. She took his face in her hands. You're my person, my safe place, my home. And I don't want to waste time pretending I need to be healed before I deserve you. I'm healing with you. That's the point. Carter kissed her. Deep, full of promise. I love you so much. I love you too. And Carter, I'm not broken. I finally believe that. You showed me. And I'm ready to stop being scared. Ready for what? For everything. For us. For building a life. For choosing each other every day. For, she smiled, for whatever comes next. The article was beautiful. Honest. Raw. A full spread with photos of Tamara's paintings. Quotes about survival and art and learning to believe you're whole. And at the end, a section about Carter. About how he'd seen her worth when she couldn't. About how he'd chosen her not in spite of her infertility but because of who she was. The article went viral. Shared thousands of times. Women commenting about their own struggles. Men talking about supporting their partners. People seeing themselves in Tamara's pain and healing. Her phone exploded. Interview requests. Gallery offers. A publisher wanting her to write a book about turning trauma into art. But the most important message came from an unknown number. I saw the article. I'm so happy for you. You deserve everything. Marcus. Tamara stared at the text, showed it to Carter. How do you feel? He asked. Nothing. I feel nothing. No anger. No pain. Just relief. Relief that I survived him. That I'm here. With you. Building something real. That's healing. Yeah, I think it is. Another text came through. Marcus again. Also, we're getting married next month. Saturday the 15th. I know it's weird to invite you. But Jenna thinks we both think it would be good. Closure. For all of us. No pressure. But if you want to come, you're welcome. Tamara's hands shook. He invited me to his wedding. Are you going to go? I don't know. Part of me wants to. Wants to show him I'm okay. That I survived. That I'm... She paused. That I'm better off without him. Then go. I'll come with you. We'll show him exactly how well you're doing. You'd do that? Go to my ex-husband's wedding? I'd do anything for you. Including sitting through a wedding where I get to watch him realize he lost the best thing that ever happened to him. She kissed him. Have I mentioned I love you? Once or twice. But I never get tired of hearing it. I love you. Completely. Terrifyingly. Forever. Forever sounds perfect. You're really going? Simone asked, watching Tamara try on dresses. Yeah, I need to. For closure. To prove I'm okay. And to show up with your billionaire boyfriend and make Marcus eat his heart out. Tamara laughed. That too. She tried on the 5th dress. Emerald green. Fitted. Elegant. The kind of dress that said, I'm thriving without you. That's the one. Simone said. You look like a queen. I feel like a queen. That's new. It's called healing, babe. It looks good on you. Simone paused. I'm sorry. For doubting Carter. For telling you to be careful. I was wrong. That man he's the real deal. He is. And Simone, thank you. For protecting me. Even when you were wrong. You were trying to keep me safe. That matters. I love you. And I'm so proud of you. For surviving Marcus. For making art. For choosing yourself. For letting Carter choose you. I love you too. That night, Tamara hung the green dress in her closet. Looked at it. Imagined walking into Marcus's wedding with Carter. Showing everyone that she'd survived. That she was whole. That she was loved. Not in spite of her infertility. Because of who she was. Finally, Carter and Tamara lay in bed. Her head on his chest. His hand in her hair. Are you ready for tomorrow? He asked. I think so. Nervous. But ready. What are you nervous about? Seeing him happy. With her. With the baby. Knowing he got everything he wanted. With someone else. Does that bother you? That he got what he wanted? She thought about it. Really thought. No. Not anymore. Because I got what I wanted too. Just different. I wanted to be chosen. To be loved for who I am. To feel whole. And I have that. With you. Marcus wanted biological children and a traditional family. He got that. With Jenna. We both got what we needed. It just wasn't with each other. That's very mature of you. I'm trying. Healing is weird. Some days I feel completely over it. Other days I still want to scream at him for leaving. But mostly I'm just grateful. Grateful he left. Because if he hadn't, I wouldn't have you. I'm grateful too. For your broken pieces. For your pain. For everything that brought you to that balcony at 2 a.m. He kissed her head. Tomorrow, we're going to walk into that wedding. We're going to show Marcus exactly what he lost. And then we're going to come home and celebrate the life we're building. Together. Okay? Okay. I love you. I love you too. Forever. Forever sounds perfect. The venue was beautiful. Historic mansion in Decatur. Garden ceremony. White chairs arranged in perfect rows. Flowers everywhere, peonies and roses, expensive and delicate. The kind of wedding Tamara had once imagined for herself. Before fertility treatments ate their savings. Before Marcus decided she wasn't worth staying for. She stood at the entrance with Carter, wearing the emerald dress, hairstyled, makeup perfect, looking like the woman she'd become, confident, healed, whole. Last chance to leave, Carter said quietly. We can turn around. Go get brunch. Pretend this isn't happening. No, I need this. Need to see him. Need to close this chapter. Then let's do this. Together. They walked in, heads turned. Whispers rippled through the crowd, mostly Marcus's family and friends. People who'd known Tamara when she was Marcus's wife, when she was trying desperately to get pregnant, when she was failing. Marcus's mother spotted them. Her face went pale. She whispered something to Marcus's father. He turned, stared. Mrs. Johnson, Carter said smoothly, extending his hand. I'm Carter Bennett. I've heard a lot about you. Marcus's mother blinked. Yes. Hello. Tamara. I didn't expect Marcus said he'd invited you, but I didn't think that I'd actually come. Tamara's voice was calm, kind. I wanted to wish him well, to show there are no hard feelings. That was a lie. There were feelings, but not the ones Marcus's mother expected. Not anger or bitterness or jealousy, just relief. Relief that this wasn't her life anymore. They found seats near the back, close enough to be seen, far enough to escape quickly if needed. The ceremony started. Marcus stood at the altar in his tux, looking nervous. Jenna appeared in her dress, white, princess style, her pregnant belly obvious beneath the fabric. 7 months now, almost there. The officiant spoke about love and commitment and partnership, about standing by each other through sickness and health. The same vows Marcus had made to Tamara, the same promises he'd broken. Tamara felt Carter's hand find hers. Squeeze. I'm here. You're not alone. She squeezed back. I know. Thank you. When Marcus and Jenna kissed, the crowd applauded. Tamara did too, because she meant it. She wanted him to be happy, just not at the cost of her own worthiness. The cocktail hour was elegant, past appetizers, open bar, string quartet playing in the background, Marcus and Jenna making rounds, greeting guests, glowing with newlywed happiness. Tamara and Carter stood near the bar. She was on her second glass of wine, needed it to get through this. You're doing great, Carter murmured. I feel like everyone's watching me. They are. But not because you're the ex-wife, because you're the most beautiful woman here, because you walked in here with confidence and grace, because you're showing everyone that you survived. I survived because of you. No, you survived because you're strong. I just got to witness it. Marcus approached, Jenna on his arm, both smiling, but the smiles were tight, nervous. Tamara, you came. Marcus's voice was careful. Thank you. It means a lot. Congratulations, both of you. I hope you're happy. He looked at Jenna. We're really happy. The baby's doing well. We find out the gender next week. That's wonderful. An awkward silence. Then Jenna spoke. I saw your article, in the Washington Post, about your art. It was really powerful. Thank you. I didn't realize. Jenna stopped, started again. I didn't realize how hard it was. For you, the infertility. Marcus mentioned it, but reading your words, she looked genuinely sympathetic. I'm sorry. That must have been so painful. It was. But I'm okay now. Better than okay, actually. Tamara looked at Carter. I found what I was looking for. Just not in the way I expected. Marcus was staring at Carter, really staring, sizing him up. Carter Bennett, the real estate billionaire. That's me. Carter's voice was pleasant, neutral. And you're Marcus Johnson, the man who was married to Tamara. The emphasis on was hung in the air. Yeah. For 7 years. Marcus shifted. Look, I want to apologize for how I ended things. The note that was cowardly. You deserved better. I did, Tamara said simply. But I understand why you left. We wanted different things. You wanted biological children, a traditional family. I couldn't give you that. It's okay. We're both where we're supposed to be. Are you? Marcus looked between them. Are you too serious? Very serious, Carter said. Tamara's the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm the lucky one. But, Marcus looked confused. Don't you want kids? I mean, you're a billionaire. Don't you want heirs? Someone to pass on your... I don't want children. I never have. And even if I did, I'd still choose Tamara, because she's extraordinary, because she makes me better, because her worth isn't tied to her ability to reproduce. It's tied to who she is. And who she is, Carter looked at Tamara, is everything. Marcus's face went red. Jenna looked uncomfortable. A few nearby guests had stopped talking to listen. That's good. I'm glad you're happy. Marcus's voice was tight. We should go greet other guests. But thank you for coming. For being the bigger person. They walked away quickly, practically fled. Carter pulled Tamara close. You okay? Yeah, that felt good, powerful, like I finally got to show him I'm not broken, that someone sees my worth, that I won. You did win. You got me. I'm the prize. She laughed. You're ridiculous. I'm yours. That's better. The best man was giving a speech, talking about how Marcus had found the one, how Jenna was perfect for him, how they were meant to be. Tamara felt a tightness in her chest, not jealousy, just the weirdness of hearing your ex-husband's new wife described as his soulmate when you'd once thought you were that person. Then Marcus stood, took the microphone. I want to say something. To my beautiful wife, Jenna, you've given me everything I ever wanted. The love, the partnership, the family we're about to start. You're my dream come true. The crowd applauded. Jenna was crying happy tears, but Marcus wasn't done. I also want to, he paused, looked directly at Tamara. I want to acknowledge that not all relationships are meant to last. Some are meant to teach us what we want, what we need. My first marriage taught me that, and I'm grateful for that lesson, for learning who I am, what I need to be happy. The room went silent. Everyone was looking at Tamara now, waiting for her to react, to break, to show that she was bitter, broken, less than. Carter tensed beside her. Do you want to leave? No. She stood, lifted her wine glass, every eye in the room on her. Marcus is right, she said clearly. Not all relationships are meant to last. Some are meant to teach us what we want. My marriage to Marcus taught me what I don't want, taught me that my worth isn't tied to my ability to have children, that a partner who leaves when things get hard isn't a partner worth having, that I deserve someone who chooses me, every single day, not because I can give him something, just because I'm me. She looked at Carter, and I found that person, someone who sees my worth, who sits with me in the dark, who believes in my art, who fought for me when I couldn't fight for myself, someone who, her voice caught, someone who chose me, completely, without reservation. The room was dead silent. So, Marcus, I'm grateful too. Grateful you left. Because if you hadn't, I wouldn't have found the person I was meant to find. The person who makes me feel whole. The person who... She smiled. The person I'm going to marry. Carter's head snapped toward her. What? She turned to him, ignored the 100 people watching. Carter Bennett, you've spent 4 months showing me I'm enough, proving you're staying, fighting for me when I pushed you away, and I don't need more time to know you're my person, my home, my forever. So, she took a breath. Will you marry me? The room gasped. Carter stared at her, then started laughing. You're proposing to me? At your ex-husband's wedding? Yes. Is that a problem? It's perfect. It's the most you thing I've ever seen. He stood, pulled her close. Yes, yes, I'll marry you. Yes to everything. Forever. He kissed her, deep, in front of everyone, in front of Marcus and Jenna and Marcus's family and every person who'd ever doubted her worth. When they broke apart, the room erupted. Half the guests were applauding, the other half looked scandalized. Marcus stood frozen at the front, microphone still in hand, face pale. Jenna was the first to speak. She started clapping, then laughing. That was the most badass thing I've ever seen. Congratulations, both of you. Marcus slowly lowered the microphone, looked at Tamara, really looked, and she saw it the moment he realized what he'd lost, the moment he understood that she wasn't broken, that she'd never been broken, that he'd thrown away something extraordinary. Congratulations, he said finally. His voice was hollow. I hope you're happy. I am, finally. They stumbled through the door laughing, still high on adrenaline and wine and the absurdity of what they'd done. I can't believe you proposed to me at your ex-husband's wedding, Carter said, pulling her close. I can't believe I didn't plan it. It just happened. I was standing there listening to him talk about finding the one, and I thought I already found mine. Why wait? You're insane. You said yes, because I'm insane too. We're perfect for each other. She kissed him. We are. Completely. Perfectly. Insanely perfect. So when are we doing this? When's our wedding? I don't know. Soon? I don't want to wait. Don't want a big thing. Just us. Our people. Something real. How about next month? Small ceremony. Your family, my family, friends, garden. Simple. Perfect. But Carter, she pulled back. Are you sure? About all of this? About marrying someone who can't give you children? About tying yourself to me forever? Tamara, his voice was firm. I have never been more sure of anything in my life. I don't want children. I want you. I want late-night conversations and art shows and watching you paint and growing old together. I want to build a life that's ours. Not what anyone expects. Just ours. What if you change your mind? I won't. But even if I did, even if 10 years from now I woke up wanting kids, I'd still choose you. Because you're not replaceable. You're not interchangeable. You're Tamara. The woman who survived something that should have destroyed her. The woman who turned pain into art. The woman who proposed to me at her ex-husband's wedding because she was done waiting for permission to be happy. She was crying now. Happy tears. Healing tears. I love you so much. I love you too, forever. Forever sounds perfect. The gallery was packed. Standing room only. Press, collectors, artists. People who'd seen her first show and wanted more. 25 new paintings. All about healing. About transformation. About learning to believe you're enough. The centerpiece. A woman standing in full light. No shadows, no doorway. Just standing. Whole. Complete. Smiling. She'd titled it, Arrived. Carter stood next to her, one arm around her waist. They'd been married 14 months. Small ceremony in her mother's garden. 50 people. Simple vows. Real love. No regrets. No doubts. Just happiness. This show is even better than the first, Maya said, joining them. Every piece sold before we opened. I have a waiting list of collectors wanting your next series. Tamara, you're officially an art world, darling. That's terrifying. That's success. Embrace it. A woman approached. Mid-40s. Black. Nervous. Excuse me. Are you Tamara Johnson Bennett? Yes. I wanted to thank you. For your art. For your honesty. I've been through 6 rounds of IVF, 3 miscarriages, and today my husband and I decided to stop, to accept that we're not going to have biological children, and I've been grieving, feeling broken, but your paintings, her voice caught, they showed me I'm not broken, that my worth isn't tied to my fertility, that I can be whole exactly as I am. So thank you for making me feel less alone. She walked away before Tamara could respond. That's the 4th person tonight, Carter said quietly. 4th person who's thanked you for making them feel seen. It's surreal. It's important. You're changing lives, Tamara, one painting at a time. Later that night, they stood on their balcony, the same balcony where they'd met, where Carter had sat with her at 2 a.m., where everything had started. Do you ever miss it? Tamara asked. The idea of kids, of a traditional family? No, not even a little bit. This, he gestured to the city, to them, to the life they'd built. This is what I want. You're what I want. Teaching your students. Making art. Late-night conversations. Spontaneous trips to Paris because we can. Growing old together without anyone else needing us. That's my dream. You're my dream. Mine too. For the longest time, I thought my dream was children, a family, the traditional thing. But I was wrong. My dream was being seen, being chosen, being loved exactly as I am. And I have that. With you. Forever. Forever. They stood there, swaying slightly, the city lights glittering below, the future stretching out bright and endless, and theirs. Tamara stood in front of a classroom. Not middle school this time. College. Atlanta College of Art, where she now taught twice a week while maintaining her art career. Art isn't about being perfect, she told her students. It's about being honest, about turning your pain into something beautiful, about showing people they're not alone. After class, a student approached. Professor Johnson Bennett, I wanted to ask your Unbroken series, the paintings about infertility. Were you scared to put that out there? Terrified. But you did it anyway. Because being honest was more important than being comfortable. Because I needed to stop hiding. Because, she paused, because the women who needed to see those paintings deserved to see them, even if it scared me. The student nodded. I'm working on a series about my eating disorder. I've been too scared to show anyone. But after seeing your work, I think I'm ready. Then do it. Be brave. Be honest. The right people will see it. And it will matter. That night, Tamara came home to find Carter cooking dinner. He'd taken up cooking as a hobby, was terrible at it. But he tried. How was class? He asked. Good. One of my students is finding her voice. It's the best part of teaching, watching them realize they have something to say. Like you did. Like I did. Thanks to you. Thanks to you. You did the work. I just got to witness it. They ate dinner on the balcony. Their balcony. Where it had all started. Where Carter had sat with her in the dark and shown her what it meant to be seen. Do you ever think about what your life would be like? Tamara asked. If Marcus hadn't left? If you hadn't moved in next door? Sometimes. But then I remember everything that happened brought us here. To this balcony. This life. This love. And I wouldn't change any of it. Not the pain. Not the struggle. Not the fear. Because it brought me you. Even the parts where I pushed you away. Especially those parts. Because you came back. You chose me. That matters more than anything. Tamara looked at him. At the man who'd seen her broken and stayed. Who'd fought for her. Who'd believed in her art. Who'd chosen her every single day for 4 years. I love you, she said. I love our life. I love that we built this together. I love that we're enough. Just us. No kids. No traditional family. Just us. We're more than enough. We're everything. And he was right. For so long, Tamara had believed she was broken, that her inability to have children made her less than, that she needed to be fixed, to be worthy. But she'd been wrong. She was whole. She'd always been whole. She just needed someone to show her, and Carter had shown her, every single day, with his presence, his patience, his unwavering belief that she was enough exactly as she was. Now, 4 years later, she finally believed it. Not because Carter told her, but because she'd done the work, painted her pain, faced her fears, chosen herself, chosen love, chosen to believe that her worth wasn't tied to her uterus. She was an